Alright, so I'm standing at the corner of 10th and F, across the street from Madame Tussauds. That's Madame Tussauds Wax Museum right there. So the reason I'm here and panning around is down the street. You see where that bus is? That's where we're headed. As we get closer, you're going to notice a line of tourists cramming to get into this house. So let's make our way down. It's beautiful out here today. It's Sunday, May the 12th, in the year 2013. And there you have it. Here on 10th Street is the house where Lincoln died. And looking across the street here, Forest Theater. Now, saying Forest Theater, as soon as you say it, it puts an image in a person's mind of being shot and then being carried across the street here and into the Peterson House. They have another plaque somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, it's over there. But I can't get to it. There's too many people up. But basically it says this is where he died on April the 15th at 7:22 in the morning. So on that night that he was shot by John Wilkes Booth, let's cross the street going in the reverse direction of where he was carried. So I can give you a shot looking back. And there's the Peterson House. It's been turned into a museum. It's in shade, so it might be hard for you to see. There it is. It's been renovated and whatnot. But if you ever get a chance, you want to come in there, go in there. But that's not why I brought you down here. I just wanted you to see it. So that's, remember, the corner of 10th and F and Northwest. They have souvenir shops, diners, all of it named after Lincoln. And matter of fact, you remember my other video? I told you if you ever see a diner or a dive, just go in there and get something to eat. Well, they have this Lincoln diner that's just past the cafe down there, and oh my goodness, chicken and waffles that will just it just melts in your mouth. If you ever, don't just go into Forest Theater and go into the Peterson House, go in that diner and get some of that food. Okay, so look, you know, of course, after F comes G and after G goes H, so that's where we're headed. We're headed to H. So what we'll do is we're going to go up one block. It might be kind of shaky, I apologize, but we're walking eastbound on F. So you saw that we came off 10th and we turned right. I mean, kind of take yourself back to the 1860s. There was no pavement, there was no asphalt, it was mud and whatever else was tossed out the window. And plus, you know, animals, horses. And so you can imagine what this city might have looked like. We're far removed from that. And so what ends up happening is that we sanitize things, literally. Oh my God, there's a couple of my workmates and whatnot. Hello, how y'all doing? Y'all never recognize me when I'm not in uniform, especially him. What's his name?
Bryce.
Get Bryce.
He'll work here.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm out making videos.
Videos?
Yes.
Where are you making videos then?
I do little walking tours on YouTube.
Oh, really?
DC, yeah.
Cool. Where?
Yeah, so I'm doing one from the Lincoln, the Peterson House, and Forest Theater. And I'm taking the people that watch my videos over to a little secret location over here in Chinatown that no tourist ever actually goes to. So it's a really, I'm not going to say what it is because then I'll let the secret out.
People know.
Huh?
People watch.
Yeah, All right, y'all have a good day. So those are a couple out. Gotta beat this light. It's changing. So you see what I'm doing? Crossing the street. That's only for convenience. So here is the Portraiture Museum. It's one of the few museums that has a couple of names. Some people call it the Portraiture Museum. Others call it the Smithsonian American Art Museum. But that's what this is right here. So you see there's a landmark. You can use to orient yourself as we walk. We don't have that much further to go. We're coming up on 8th. So we're still on F, coming up on 8th, passing by the Smithsonian American Art Museum. And you will notice it's not on the National Mall. That's because not all the Smithsonian museums are on the National Mall. Now, up ahead, our next big landmark is the Verizon Center. Now, why the Verizon Center is important is because that's where the Washington Wizards of the NBA simply refuse to win any basketball games. Fortunately, we have the Capitals. They are our saving grace, as they refuse to not make the playoffs. I love it. So now you see that's 7th. So the number has gone down. We went from 10th, and now we're on 7th. And we're going to make, actually, let's cross the street. The lights changed. Verizon Center, crossing the street. Make sure if you're out here walking, you keep your eyes on the cars. You know, because some of these drivers, they went somewhere like a Cracker Jack box to get their licenses. They can't drive. Or at least they're overly aggressive. So now we're coming up on, excuse me, Gallery Place. And walking on the east side, there it is, of the American Art Museum. So you have a little bird's eye view. You see all the landmarks. There's the front of it, looking towards the Martin Luther King Memorial Library that's being renovated also. The entire city is actually being renovated. There's construction everywhere. It's being done quietly. For as much noise as they make, they aren't really saying why there's so much construction going on, but it's everywhere. That's the other thing about DC. I know you noticed that there's a ton of people out during the day, but it's like that during the night as well. I'm trying to make my way through the crowd. Tons of people out. Bless you. You're welcome. Nice young lady. I like that. It's very easy to become cynical in DC. It's a rough city sometimes. You know, you have to work hard. When I realized how much construction was going on and the fact that the city was being rebuilt, the first thing I did was buy property. So now I own property in the city limits. This is a metro stop, Gallery Place, Chinatown. It's usually really busy. You're going to notice some street performers up here, so I'll catch them. They're always out here. Street performers. Street performers. So, we're coming up on the reason why I brought you from the Lincoln House, excuse me, the Peterson House in Forest Theater. So, we're in Chinatown. I'm going to pan back around so you can see we just walked under the Chinatown Bridge. There it is. It's beautiful. You know what? I don't want to jaywalk, but I think I'm going to have to, man. I need to get across the street to get the proper view of what I want to show you. I got to get across the street. I got to see what this car is doing. And now we're getting across the street, so I'm jaywalking real fast, and I am across the street. Now, you'll notice that the crowd is thinned out. We are on 8th Street, still walking eastbound, okay? We are on the north side of the Verizon Center, coming towards 6th Northwest on 8th Street. And this is why I brought you here. If you look around across the street, do you see that white building right there? You notice there's nobody fighting to get in there? It's a restaurant. They got great food. They do great business. That's primarily the only reason people go there. That is where the conspirators met that shot the president. All those people that were put to death, that's where they met. It is now called the Walk and Roll Restaurant. So if you come and you want to be where Mary Surratt was, or John Wilkes Booth, or Mary's kids, or their friends, there you go. Corner of 6th and H. I'll show you. See the sign? 6th and H, Northwest. We're going to run across the street. And I'm going to get the plaque that is on the building so that you can see it. I'll read it to you. It says, a historical landmark, Surratt Boarding House, 604 8th Street Northwest. At the time, 541, is said to have been where the conspirators plotted the abduction of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln in 1865. And you notice there is not a line of tourists fighting to get in. It is probably, you know, you take for example, I don't know that we've learned anything over the last 150 years, because the same rhetoric that led to President Lincoln being killed is probably the same rhetoric that may have led to other forms of violence against other politicians. I don't want to name anybody, but this is a lost opportunity here. And I'm not saying that a person shouldn't be in business. God bless our Asian community. But can you imagine if this building had been renovated and put back in time to what it may have looked like inside? in 1865? Because this is pretty much what it looked like back then. There were some differences on the front where the door may have been. So you can go online and get old photographs to see what it looked like. But it's like a incomplete narrative when you come to DC. And you saw that it was less than a 10-minute walk of us coming around here probably. You know, I ran some, but you know, it's a nice stroll on a good day. And to complete the story, you go to Ford's Theater, you go to the Peterson House, and then you come here. But nobody's coming here because it's an incomplete story. So you imagine that you've read a book, you get all the way to the end, and the chapters are blank. And I believe that's what we're doing here, and I believe it's a mistake. So if you happen to come to DC, stop by. Yeah, go in and get something to eat. But, you know, for you parents or teachers that are bringing your kids here, complete the story. Hope you enjoyed that.